Right, okay, so after we've set up and we've got a graphic loaded, we can create our background. Okay, so I'm going to go to title container and I'm going to make Visual Studio do all the work. Okay, so when I start the title, I'm going to say create me a new background. Okay, I might call it title background so I don't get confused later on with lots of other backgrounds. So I'm going to call it title background. It doesn't exist, so it's gone red squiggle on me. But if I do control and full stop, it'll bring up a list of fixes for me. So it says, do I want to generate a class for title background in template? Yes. Okay. So I'm going to say yes. And it should have created, and you can see over there, title background. And that's gone blue because it works. So I'm going to then go to that, and the easiest way is to put your cursor on it and press F12. Okay, and it'll take you straight to a definition. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we need to inherit from TileMap, because that's what we do backgrounds using. It doesn't exist because I haven't used the engine library, but this is actually really clever. It's actually scanned and it knows what library that's in. So if I do Control Dot, it asks me, do I want to include using Engine 7? Yeah, go on then, mate. Do it for me. And it puts it in, fixes it. Okay, right. So the next thing I want to do is I'm just going to load up this basic graphic. So I'm going to say, right, I want a title background, and then I'm going to call the base tile map and get it to construct. So I want it to make it the right size, and I want it to make it the same size as my texture. So I'm going to say gm dot tx back. So it's going to make a tile map that big. Okay, so we do that before we start construction. So this is called a constructor. Then what we're going to do, the very first line we're going to have in here, we're going to say GM TileMap Manager, add this TileMap that we're creating now. If we don't do that, the TileMap won't be displayed. Okay, so you'll write all your beautiful code, nothing will happen. So you have to do that. The next thing is to use the TileMap Manager to generate the background tiles for me. So we can say tile, and it says, what do you want to tile to? Well, this TileMap. What position? So we want this to be in the top left hand corner because we want it vector 2.0. Now vector 2 isn't included. So again, I'm going to say control and full stop. And it says, oh, do you want to add a using statement in there? Yeah, thank you very much. So it's put the libraries in that I'm using, which is quite nice of it. And I'm then going to tell it what texture. So that's GMTX back. And that should be all I have to do to create the background. All right, so I've got to have a graphic. It's loaded into a texture, and then I'm just saying use it. Let's see if I've messed it up. Just run it. Yeah, I've broke some. What have I done? Oh, right. Right, so the error, I've got 1280 by 720 is my texture, and my default tile size is 50 by 50. Now it can't divide straight in to 1280 by 720, and a lot of you are going to have this. Now a number that is nice that fits is 40. Okay. This only happens with these backgrounds. So I'm just going to stop that running, and I'm going to go up to this bit where I called the base constructor, and I'm going to give it the tile size. So I'm going to say new point 40 by 40. And I'm going to run it again, see if it works. Hey, there's my dog. But I made my screen. So don't laugh at it, Kieran. It is right. Hang on a minute. You couldn't see it all. Let me go back to assets and make my screen widescreen, which is what that graphic was created for. You don't see the beauty of it. Hang on. Right, here we go. Now you're going to stop laughing. There you go. It's a dog sniffing a tree. It's a very cloudy day. It's a bit grey, it's a bit wintry, but it's nice luscious grass there. Yeah, obviously. It's permafrost. It's in the background to distance. It's the distance, man. Right, so that is the most basic. So if you get an error when it loads and it says, oh, it needs to be divisible, then you'll need to set the point size. So let's just have a look. So I've got my graphic stored in a texture. Made sure I loaded it in. We did that previously. I went into my title container and I just said, do all the work for me. I want a new background. So that's what you'll do with yours, Calvin, when you've done your planks and everything. And then I just did that. So this bit says, make the background this size and make each tile 40 by 40 pixels wide and high. And then I just said, like, add it to the TileMap manager. And then I said to the TileMap manager, chop that picture up into 40 by 40 squares for me. And it does. If there's any that are duplicated, it actually takes out the duplications for you. So whether it was all that green, it would actually gone, oh, this is all green. This is the same as another one. I use the same tile number. Okay. You can test to see if that's worked properly by saying overlay show is true, and I can mess about with overlay output equals contents, and that should render a load of junk on the screen on top. Oh, I can't see it. I must have done something stupid. Hang on. Oh, what did I? Engine manager. Oh yeah, I've got to do that. TileMap overlay. I have to tell it to actually do it because it's really expensive. But it shows you all the blocks. So it's split it up into 575 rectangles for me. Which, because it's a TileMap, you can't just draw a graphic. That lets it scroll then because it can generate separate parts of the image. You can't do that with the sprite if you want to make it wrap round. So I could actually scroll that now. So if you want to do scrolling, so I can just say scroll x equals 100 and it'll scroll. Okay. But if I want it to repeat, I have to put wrap. So I can wrap in both directions, or I can just say wrap x. And what that'll do is then, as it goes off the screen, it'll draw on. If you're scrolling, you can see from that, let me just turn that overlay off. I'll do it slower. You can see a problem if you're going to scroll. The left hand and the right hand edge have to like tessellate together. And you can see that this one doesn't exactly. Although you could say, who'd notice? You know, it's just the details. You don't see that sort of detail in that image of that precision. You don't notice that there's them big fluty white bits. The grey bit matches up just about, and the green bit does just about. It's a bit suspicious that there's 2 trees and 2 dogs. But yeah, so mirror and things like that if you're going to do any scrolling, because it does look very odd. And that's it. That's the basic of that. So tomorrow we'll have a look and I'll show you how to create a basic sprite, and then just show you a couple of different things like flashing and stuff like that. But what I'll do is I want to like work with everyone separate because you're all doing different daft things. Okay, so if someone wants me to record a video on how to do something, I'll do it during lesson or whatever. Okay, right, I better stop that. I'm rambling on. I'm on videos.